This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the Bee Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at beepodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to this show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply.
Welcome to Morning Motivation for Educators. I'm Danielle Neufer, a former teacher who's been where you are, exhausted, stretched thin, and questioning how to keep this going. After 20 years in the classroom and 2 bouts of burnout, I've discovered tools and practices that help me not just survive, but thrive as an educator over the long haul. Teaching Well is about helping teachers like you manage stress, build resilience, and reclaim the passion that brought you here. Each episode is a moment to pause, reflect, and take those small steps toward feeling more grounded, energized, and fulfilled in your work. Because when teachers thrive, everyone in the school community does too. And I'm here to help you make that happen. If you went to school to become a teacher, you spent years studying content and the craft of teaching. You learned how to plan lessons, manage classrooms, assess learning, and meet standards. But I'm guessing that no one ever taught you about that third strand. And this third strand is what I call well work. When I started teaching well, the work was about giving teachers language around caring for themselves in the classroom, because that actually needed to become a thing. Then it evolved into looking at the systems teachers work within and asking how we could create more supportive, sustainable cultures. Now, don't get me wrong. We are far from infiltrating the systems that we work in fully. There's a lot of work to be done. But that's why I really feel like there needs to be a shift back to the individual. While they're starting to get these systems in order, we need to revisit who we are and the control that we have and the influence that we have in our own part of our school systems. As this work has continued, what I'm seeing more clearly is this. There are more things teachers do have control over than they may realize. And with the job landscape changing, I want teachers and future teachers to be able to make this incredible profession work for them. Some people don't figure out the well work piece until 20 plus years into their career. And sometimes it's the very thing that keeps teaching from being fully maximized by the people who are in it. And well work includes things like maximizing your schedule, taking full advantage of your holiday breaks and how they fall throughout the school year, fully immersing yourself in the professional learning you're required to do and sometimes are often reimbursed for taking, understanding the seasonality of the job and the ebb and flow and how that can work with your own energy and level of commitment through the school year, and paying attention to the consistency of your daily schedule, not just what happens inside it and the changes that ultimately will happen. So I want to invite you just for a moment to set aside everything that feels challenging about your job and instead consider this. If you could fully take advantage of the best parts of teaching, could you create a life that moves you closer to your dreams? I'm going to say that again. If you could fully take advantage of the best parts of teaching, could you create a life that moves you closer to your dreams? Of course, I'm not saying everyone's jobs are roses, but I know that there are many people who truly enjoy the work they do. You are driven to wanting to become a teacher. And you know what? Sometimes I think it's really hard for people to say they do like their teaching job. I think it's very challenging. I think there's a lot of people that are living out there saying, I actually like the work I'm doing. I work in a pretty good school district. It's hard to rise above that when we hear all these messages about how bad things are. And I'm not saying they're not bad. I'm not saying there aren't challenges. But there are literally challenges in every job market that you are going to come across. And if you took the time to become a teacher, if you went and got all of your certifications and you're doing all these things, there was a reason. You knew this job wasn't going to be easy, but you knew it was going to be worth it. And what I'm trying to share is a lot of hope and a lot of, I want to empower you to take back the control that you do have, is really what I want this well work piece to be. So I really do believe there are people that enjoy the work that you're doing. I also believe there are people who are fairly satisfied, but could be even more satisfied across their career if they did some intentional well work. And the good news is this: well work isn't about doing more. It's about seeing your job differently and using what's already there more intentionally. As I reflect on the past 25 years of being in education, I've really come to believe that this is one of the biggest missing pieces. And when integrated intentionally, when you're taught to actually plan and systematize for an optimal job, you are going to see that there are very many benefits to being a teacher. So I believe that this well work piece may shift your entire reality, the way you see yourself, your career, your classroom. And in doing so, it will truly change your life. So that's a big, big leap. We were not taught this in school. And I wanted to take some time in the next few episodes of the podcast to share with you how we can bring this well work intentionally into our classrooms. If this idea resonates with you, I'd love for you to explore it more deeply. You can order my book, The Path of the Mindful Teacher, or join the waitlist for the next round of Meet the Mess with Mindfulness, where we practice ideas together in real time. Find links for these trainings and other ways we can work together in the show notes. And remember, caring for yourself is the best way to care for your students.
Thanks for listening. And whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at bpodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.